Power to the truth. It is Tuesday, June 28th, 2016. This is Pítate Aslan from Sacramento, Calipas. This is a message to La Raza. La Raza. L-A-R-A-Z-A. We are a beautiful, diverse people. And in many ways we're scattered in terms of our ethnic, racial, tribal identity. And I myself consider myself a Chicano de Aslan. Aslan is the U.S. Southwest, and we cannot be illegal immigrants if we are in our own homeland. So right now, I advocate global revolution in order to help us avoid extinction as a species. And in unity with that, I advocate that we unite together as a species, as a people, ultimately as one family of humanity. La Raza is hard to organize because we're so diverse, and know that the fascist corporate media and fascism in general, their main strategy is to divide and rule, to divide us along class lines, racial lines, ethnic lines, just to divide us so that we do not unite together and overthrow corporate capitalism, overthrow the evil empire. And yes, it is evil, and yes, it is an empire. So I used to be heavily involved with the Chicano movement, and then Mexican American Youth Association in high school, the United Farm Workers Organizing Committee, the Brown Berets, Mecha, which is like a college student organization, so different kinds of groups. I was even involved in Arizona with the amnesty movement. So we need to understand that La Raza is mainly in reference to us here in the USA. Many of us Chicanos speak English, and we are not really fluent in Spanish, Espanol. So we have that gulf between those who are Spanish speaking and those who are not. And all this varies according to the individual. Many Chicanos are fluent in Spanish, and the terms used in reference to ourselves are brown people, Latinos, Mexicanos, and even the term Hispanics, which is the Nixon era invention that I just like. So I believe that it keeps us, labels can keep us divided. Like I work online with a group called Network Aslan. Another example of our division, we have like a news group, and that I help monitor, and I rarely get any feedback from anyone. we have like a activist section, a cultural indigenous section. So another example of how we're so scattered out. So we need to have more of a presence in the world, online, offline, and unite together and then seek solidarity with other people, especially black people, because black and brown people should be natural allies because of our shared oppression, and without being racist. We don't want to mimic the racism of white people. Though racism is not limited to white people. And in fact, we use the term black and brown people. Many brown people are racist against blacks. And many blacks are racist against brown people. And this keeps us divided. So it's a complex issue. It's not as easy as it sounds. You just can't say, well, I don't want to be racist, oppressed, or we're not racist, because we're raised in a racist society that keeps us suspicious of each other, that keeps us to mistrust each other, that keeps us divided as it is. And when you throw in the whole racial color dynamic, then it gets even worse. So we need to understand who we are. Now, the idea of me being Hispanic to me is insane, because I was created during the Nixon era, and they need to have more of a label system for the U.S. Census. So we need to keep in mind the need for unity, and though we stress that we're all, or should be, humane beings, we cannot ignore the fact that there are differences, especially cultural differences. So the most progressive political party that we've had has been the Raza Party. So in many areas it is ineffective, if not non-existent. I think there's still a need for having a political party that speaks to the needs of La Raza. And I was one of the early activists involved with the Chicano movement. And those soldiers don't die, they just fade away. And in a way, the Chicano movement has faded away. And many of the youth, they identify themselves, if they do, as say Latino. And the term Latino is kind of it's a European term, and Cubans will call themselves Cubans because they relate to their so-called national origin, which is Cuba. And people from Venezuela are Venezuelans, because they identify with their national origin of Venezuela. So I identify myself as a Chicano because I identify with my national origin and the region of the U.S. Southwest, Aztlán. So we need to constantly work on clarifying these issues so we have a better understanding of who we are and where we are in the world. America is a racist country. This is true. It was founded upon a double genocide of black Africans and indigenous natives, so-called Native Americans. Now, behind all this, we got to keep in mind that there are no nations under empire. Right now, an evil empire, as Star Wars as that sounds, an evil empire is in control of the billions of people upon Mother Earth, composed of the evil empires led by corporate elites, corporate capitalists, masters of capital, and they are destroying Mother Earth. And we need to destroy them before they destroy us all. And one way of doing that is raising consciousness and keeping in harmony and in tune with mass consciousness. So in a way, we are blessed having the internet in these times. So we need to use the internet in order to magnify our unity as a family of humanity and to express ourselves as humane beings and to clarify issues that keep us divided and at each other's throats. So, La Raza Unida Party has been historically the best political party that La Raza has had. And there's a MAPA, M-A-P-A, and there's others, but the main one has been La Raza Unida. So we need to do the research, keep studying, and keep learning, and understand that political organizations help to coalesce unity. So to me, the most advanced black organization has been in the past Black Panther Party, led by Minister of Defense Huey P. Newton, who, when he was killed, he was a crackhead. So we got to study our history and look at the positive and the negative, and not be in denial about the truth, because in a way the truth will set us free. First, when we find out the truth, it may piss us off. And when it starts to simmer down and starts to seep into our consciousness, we go beyond angry and go into an awareness of what's going on in the world. So, I support La Raza Unida Party, though I do not support any kind of cultural nationalism. In a way, it was the whole Chicano cultural nationalism that sidetracked the Chicano movement, where we started claiming that we were a nation, the Chicano nation. And this is an illusion, because there can be no nations under empire. There really are no independent nations like, say, Native American nations. That's just a label. A nation must have territorial integrity. In other words, it controls the land and all the viable institutions on the land. The climax of political power is when we control the land and all the institutions on the land. If we call ourselves a nation, but allow a foreign army to come in and kidnap us, come in and enforce its laws, so we're not really truly a nation. So there are no nations under the U.S. empire. In fact, America itself, despite its propaganda, is actually an internal colony of the U.S. empire. So America itself is not a free, independent nation. We see fascism becoming more and more in power and secure. So we want to reach out to the people of La Raza, raise our consciousness, and then unite. It's the same process to unite with other people. Black people, African Americans, and white people who are progressive, and Asians, and all people all over the world who are progressive, who want to see radical transformation of reality. So this is like in harmony with our strategy. Our overall strategy is a seizure of power and the redistribution of the wealth. So don't fall for any feel the burn crap from Bernie Sanders, has compromised his principles, and see that having a strong, radical political party will help to galvanize revolutionary resistance inside the USA. Yet we also need to work in harmony with other racial groups that come together as political organizations. Politics is a war without bloodshed. That has not changed. War is politics with bloodshed. So we use politics in order to have exhaustive, legal, peaceful methods of resistance against tyranny. Not just to feed the ego, but to really connect with mass consciousness and to create a revolutionary consciousness that will help to topple the empire. We have enemies, and we have potential allies. So we must be cognizant of that and not let our enemies divide us. So I say support La Raza Party, but don't get trapped with the whole cultural nationalism crap. And if you want to show you proof of your nation, You show proof by controlling land, by controlling, having territorial integrity, not by just banners and flags. So the situation in reality is complex. Thus our minds must also be complex. Yet, in general, we should try to simplify the complex, not complicate the simple. So we should help support La Raza Party, and it's truly revolutionary, and it's truly radical. Not no cultural nationalist crap. And the idea of socialism or not is still an open question. Ideally, even democracy is like the best of evils in terms of what is democracy for one group of the majority can be tyranny for the minority. So we're talking about the idea of egalitarianism, where we're equal to each other. So these are complex issues that are not going to be resolved in a little video. So I have like a Wi-Fi connection here, so I'm able to transmit this right now. So we need to understand that we are one family of humanity, and in the same process unify together as people of La Raza, and not let our labels keep us divided. United we are strong, divided we are weak. We have so much working against us, and we have something working for us, including love for the people, love for ourselves, love for our languages, love for the beauty of our diversity. Variety is the spice of life. So, in many ways, our struggle is a spiritual struggle. We're trying to keep our consciousness at a higher level of understanding and not get slammed down with our depression or despair or any sense of hopelessness. We want to encourage people to keep studying, keep learning, and to fight back against evil. To try to make a better world for all of us, those of us of La Raza and all people. Now, in many ways, people online tend to have a tendency towards attention deficit disorder. Where people don't pay attention. People don't focus. People don't have priorities. All of us have basic survival needs. And the basics are the basics: food, clothing, shelter, medical care, and quality education. Those 5 basic survival needs are stuff that we should keep in the back of our mind and in the bottom of our heart in all our activities. Even the word, and use the power of the word, the power of image. Understand the word activist could be positive or negative. A while back we saw some Nazi activists here at the state capitol of California for Evil Month. So promote integration, racial integration and social integration, and see that we all have the potential to be honest, humane beings. Humane, humane. So please feel free to give me feedback and keep it positive. There's nothing negative. Keep it constructive. There's enough destruction. And keep it aimed at a mass unity consciousness. Overcome the petty ego. And educate to liberate. Power to the truth. Power to the power of love. Let me see where I'm at here. Okay, about a half hour. Take care. Do what I can with what I have.